Hello and welcome to another episode of Friday Fly Day. Today I am tying a CDC variation of a Prince Nymph, which is a very classic fly and very effective fly. Sorry for the long delay in producing new fly tying videos. I've been doing a lot of other content, as you might have seen, so I'm trying to get back to my schedule of weekly Friday Fly Day videos, so I'll try. And yeah, let's get on. Before we get started, I just wanted to show you this Stone Creek rotary vise that I have now, thanks to I Love Fly Fishing. I had a few requests to just show the whole vise. This one's on a clamp base that can clamp to a table, but you can also get a base that can go flat on the table where you can rest it as well. So yes, I have been enjoying the vise. It's my first rotary vise, so still getting used to the rotary features, but yeah, very nice vise. We'll be tying this fly on size 12 barbed Kumho nymph hooks available from I Love Fly Fishing. We'll be using some 3.5mm gold tungsten slotted beads, some CDC feathers, some Peacock hearl, some brown and some white goose biots. I'm going to be using some copper wire for the rib, which is not traditional, but yeah, that's what I'm using. I'll be holding it all together with some Vivis 8.0 black thread. Vivis is a new range that I Love Fly Fishing is holding, so yeah, check them out. They've got a whole range of Vivis threads and also sci-bi, I think, so yeah, have a look. Right, so with the hook and the vise, we're going to start by laying a base of thread. Like I always do, I'm going to be capturing the thread in the slot of the bead and just winding that around to just trap that bead. It just works for me. And then I'm going to use it using the tag end to lay my thread down nice and smoothly. If you hold that at a 45-degree angle, it will help keep your thread wraps nice and tight, and we'll go right to near the bend of the hook. And we'll stop there, chop that off. We're going to start with the brown goose biots that we're going to use for the tail, and we're going to chop off 2. So once you have your 2 chopped off, you'll see that they have a slight bend in them, so put them facing away from each other with the bend. Now once you've pinched them equally like that, you want to bring them around, so you put them each side of the hook, and now you have to pinch them, bring your thread up, get a loose wrap, and you want to tie these effectively on each side of the hook. It's a bit fiddly and quite challenging at times, and then you just loosely wind around till you tighten those eventually onto the hook and keep them in place so they are either side of the hook. It can be quite tricky, so it might take a bit of practice. I still struggle with it. In fact, I don't like to tie this fly because of it. And you just pull the base of thread, and now you have your tail stuck in there, and you can now manipulate it a little bit to get it in the right position, but you'll end up with a tail like that. See that? Okay. Now you tie in your rib. I think the classic fly uses silver tinsel or oval wire or something like that. I think it's silver. I am just using good old copper wire. It works for me, and I don't see any need to use anything different. And I say this is a variation, and it's my variation of it, so slide that in alongside of the hook and just tie that up and come back to where your tail is. So copper wire tied in. And now we are going to get our peacock hearl. I use 2 strands for this, and I'm going to tie them in alongside the copper wire. Come right back to the end of the feathers. Okay, I'm just going to wind these now forward, coming right underneath the hook, and just go in tight wraps forward up to the bead pretty much. You can leave a little bit of a gap there. The bead, come up and tie it off. Okay. And you can just pinch those off. Okay. Now I'm just going to counter wrap my copper wire. Bring that up just going to tie that off. Then I'll just helicopter the copper wire to get it off. Okay, there we go. Now onto our CDC feathers. This is sort of a brown or tan colored one. I'm going to use the tip. I'm going to pull some of the fibers back a bit. And then I'm going to tie it in by the tip, facing 45 degrees backwards. And I'll fold that back. I don't even bother. The tip is so soft that I don't even bother. I just tie the tip back. I don't even bother snipping it off. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my hackle pliers to grab the tip of the feather, and I'm going to spin it this way, and then I'm going to pull these fibers back and start wrapping around. And every time I wrap, I'm just going to pull those fibers back and then wrap a bit forward. So you end up with those fibers sitting back. And about 2 or 3 wraps is enough. And then I'll just work my way between those feathers and tie it off. Try and use as few wraps as possible here. And now I'm just going to pull that back and tie those feather fibers back. And any excess or extra things you just snip off. Okay, there you go. Now what you can do before you tie in the wing case is you could snip off these top fibers. I'm just going to leave them on. I think they just add extra movement. I don't think they really impede it in any way, but with a hackle you normally cut through the harder hackle. But you don't have to do that here. Now I'm going on to my white goose beads. So I'm just going to tie them in one at a time, facing 45 degrees away from the fly and about 2/3 of the hook shank length. Just try to use minimum wraps, a couple of wraps to tie it in there. And then I'm going to do the other one. Just a couple of wraps to catch it. Okay, I just fold them back and snip them off as close as possible. Make sure they're still in the right position there. Okay, now if there's one fly where it's handy, this fly to use minimum wraps using some super glue. This is a quick fix super glue. Put that on the thread close to the eye, and now I'm just going to whip finish it with the super glue, and that will lock everything in place. Because otherwise it will take a million wraps to secure those goose beads. They're very slippery things. Well, there's your finished fly. Those CDC feathers give it a lot of movement underwater. You can use it pretty much like a wee wet. You can even swing it at the back of a drift. So, you know, bit of a variation on a very classic nymph. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you do, please subscribe for more. I am trying to get back to my weekly release of fly tying videos. So, yep, see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.